So for day 38, excuse my sigh. Um, I'm not sighing at the episode, but for day 38, I'm just thinking. It's like I know. In each of the Luminous Mysteries, it's beautiful, the timing. You know, they're the newest type of mysteries because the Rosary initially didn't have them. The Rosary just had the joyful, sorrowful, and glorious. But the Luminous were made by Pope John Paul II in his wisdom, or in the wisdom God had given him, which is quite inspired wisdom indeed, because the 5 Luminous Mysteries tackle 5 problems that the current day and age is having. Problems of, I guess one that comes to mind immediately is marriage. People are getting a bit confused of what marriage is, and we have situations where men are marrying men and females are marrying females. So we have the beautifulness of the male and female marriage at the wedding of Cana, and the beauty of marriage, and then we also have in the first mystery, baptism. We've had there's been a decline of baptisms and just a decline of faith in general. And so baptism is like just being reminded of the graces of baptism in the first mystery. And then the third, the proclamation of the good news. I cannot remember what problem that one's tackling, but the fourth, the transfiguration, can I remember that one? I don't know. Maybe you guys can. Tell me in the comments. But the fifth one is the institution of the Holy Eucharist. And that one I cannot remember what problem that might be tackling. What problem that does come to mind immediately is that many Catholics do not believe in the 100% presence of Jesus in the Eucharist. And I don't believe if you've watched up to Rosary In A Year day 38, you aren't going to believe that anymore, or you're not going to be starting to think about, wow, is it really true? Because what Jesus says is, and the fact that he says, this is my body, some people really, and I mean, if he was using hyperbole or simile, then when those guys wouldn't have gone and discussed it and walked away, like, how can this guy be telling us to eat his body? This is so wrong. Like, he's encouraging us to do cannibalism, that kind of thing. Like, they wouldn't have believed that, and in fact, that's a hard teaching. It's a hard teaching even for me today. Because when I really deep it, I'm like, I still kind of like, I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, in the law, in the law of Moses, just in general, I know that it's a sin to practice cannibalism. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so how and why is it okay for us to now eat Jesus? In the Eucharist. It's always been an area of confusion for me. But then, it's like that's why Saint Peter, or was it Saint Peter who responded, "Lord, this is a hard teaching. Who can listen to it?" That kind of thing. Or no, I think it was the people who said that, right? And then, but then ultimately, when the people were leaving, when Jesus said, "Truly, truly, I tell you, this is my body," and they were leaving. I think this is John chapter 6. Jesus turned to the apostles and said, "Will you guys leave too?" And they said, "Lord, where will we go? You have the words of eternal life." That was Saint Peter, and I think that's just it. Ultimately, it's because like when I picture myself there with the apostles, and I think of my present confusion, which has always been, but like, how can we eat the bread of, like, how can we eat Jesus when cannibalism is a sin, But then, if I, if I glorify myself, it means nothing, but if it is God who glorifies me, remember Jesus said that somewhere, and then there's also, like, do not believe, if you cannot believe in me, if you don't believe me, believe the works. Jesus did what he did. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning, like, healing people. Okay, yeah, raising people from the dead. Oh, okay, better. But he completely blows everything else out of the water when he himself rises from the dead, and in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Can you imagine? In your number one show, when they kill someone because we have to get rid of this guy, and they kill him, and guy comes back. Hey, that means they cannot do anything to him now. They cannot. They just cannot. He is undefeatable. Hey, see, that's what it's like. If God is glorified, is glorified through the Son. Hey, see, make I just obey what he says. Oh,
I have to eat with him in order to have a turn. Like, look, I'll do whatever you say. That's just it. I mean, who am I to argue with you? Are you not God? I beg me. Let me just shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just it. So it's like, so that's just my random thoughts for today. And I had a lot more deep thoughts, but I think I'm gonna leave it with that. What do you guys think? Am I being silly? Okay, see you in the next one.